Hey everybody, back for more? Good! Then welcome back to my first playthrough of Pokemon Sun, where everything wants to Thanos snap me. Before we begin, this here is part 4 of the run, so if you're new to the channel, I recommend going back to the start so you can get the full experience. If you want to know the rules, those are available in the description of this video, so go ahead and pause for a second to give those a look, and once you're done, let's go! Last time we were in the Mushroom Kingdom... Wait, no, not this game. Ah, there we go. Last time we defeated both Kiawe and Mallow's trial, and as such, all 3 trials of Akala Island are now complete. We were told by Kukui that we should prepare for Olivia's Kahuna battle, as she uses Rock-type Pokemon, but if you don't know yet, we're rocking a full Grass-type team, so this shouldn't be too difficult for us. We all know that Paper beats Rock anyway. We used Charizard for the first time to fly all the way to... I know, I'm joking. I know it's... Okay, now for real. We get back to Heahea, and I know I'm probably butchering this, and we head for the Dimensional Research Lab, where Lily roasts Aiden like it's no one's business. Seriously, man, if she's acting like you by telling a Pokemon to use Splash, I don't know what to tell you, dude. After talking with Lily, we head into the lab and go upstairs, and I swear that when I saw Kukui say, "Hey there, honey," I thought he was going to get bashed right there. But then I learned that this guy actually does have a wife. I was mind blown, dude. I guess I'm just not used to seeing stuff like this in a Pokemon game. I mean, I know it's not the first time. Birch has a wife and daughter, for instance. It's just, I don't know, Kukui didn't strike me as the kind of guy to have a wife, that's all. Anyway, Kukui introduces us to his wife, Professor Burnett. We get a somewhat lengthy explanation on Ultra Wormholes and Ultra Beasts, as well as Lily's origin story and how she ended up living in Kukui's loft. When speaking with Lily again, she says that Burnett has been like a real mother to her, which to me didn't seem like much back then, but we'll eventually get to why this matters. We get told that we need to pass through Diglett's tunnel to go to Konikoti City, and as soon as we leave the lab, we see a portal closing in the sky. We were just talking about wormholes, and one just pops out of nowhere. What a coincidence! We check everything out in this newly opened area of the city. As we reach Diglett's tunnel, a scientist says we must be having a grand time with Festival Plaza. No, we're not. That and Pokepalago are off limits. Pokepalago because I was asked not to use it. The rest of the features? I just didn't want to bother, that's all. We enter Diglett's tunnel and meet Olivia, who tells us that we should be strong enough to traverse this place. I don't think she fully understands who she's dealing with here. But she will, soon. In the first battle here, Bounsweet evolves. That was quick. And the thing is, it's not even that difficult to evolve it again. Sweet. Nothing much to talk about this place, other than the fact that we meet 2 members of the Ether Foundation. This foundation will come up again in the future. We also run into a couple of Skull Grunts. Hao shows up and we have our first double battle. I don't need to say this, but because we trained so much for Mallow's trial, we're way too overleveled for this section. It sucks because I didn't want to make the game too easy. Hopefully that won't be the case forever. We go ahead and defeat all trainers in the area, including the quote-unquote mini-boss. Then we leave the tunnel and reach Konikoni City, and I just love how it took me 14 hours to discover you can set the right Pokemon to a directional arrow. Yeah, I'm dumb. There's no way around it. So we reach Konikoni. We go into every building except the one we're supposed to go into, and in one of them, we're told off by 2 girls. I think that after all these years playing Pokemon, this was probably the first time I've ever felt bad for entering a room uninvited. We also went through a change of clothes. We are, after all, running a full Grass-type team, so it only makes sense that we wear green. Sadly, shoes, backpacks and hats are all unavailable in green, so I use the next best color, blue. We eventually enter the door we're supposed to, and a Probo Pass gives us a letter from Olivia. Apparently she's gone to the Ruins of Life past Memorial Hill, so we now know our next objective. Promo Pass gives us a max potion and we're free to go. But first, we check out the shop here, and it's quite an interesting one as there's a leaf stone, and although I don't buy any, it could prove useful later. Also, while I'm on topic, I should probably say this. Back in Paniola Ranch, I could have caught an Eevee and evolved it into Leafeon. But the thing is, I can only catch Grass-type Pokemon, so even if I never used Eevee and only started using it after giving it the Leaf Stone, it wouldn't count. It would only count if I caught it as a Leafeon. Anyway, we head upstairs and enter what I suppose is Olivia's bedroom. We lay down on her bed, because of course we do, then I notice a pink sparkle this time. Of course Sina calls us right after we interact with it. And if you thought we'd finally get to know exactly why it is that we're collecting these cells, nope. All we're told is that the pink sparkles are different from the green ones. These here are used to teach Zygarde some moves. That's great and all, but we'll never use Zygarde, so it's useless to me. We cross Memorial Hill like it's nothing. One thing I do notice is that Funny Hat is a monster now, so any battle I get into is easily won. We then run into 2 members of the Ether Foundation and 2 Skull Grunts. And look, I don't need anyone to tell me that the guy with green gloves and glasses will be a boss later. It's pretty much written on his face. After another quick battle, we're then invited to go to the Hano Grand Resort so the Ether Foundation members can take us somewhere. But first, we still need to head to the Ruins of Life. We get the TM for Leech Life and eventually go to the next section. However, just as we are about to step foot there, we're interrupted by a new character who introduces herself as Plumeria. She's annoyed because I'm picking on the grunts that keep getting in my way. Boo-hoo. It's not like I have a choice really, and Plumeria reinforces this as a battle against her starts against my will. This battle is really easy. You'll hear me say this quite often now, but since we are overleveled, the battles are a breeze. While Golbat does deal some damage and lowers Funny Hat to half HP, Salandit is unable to deal any damage, and the poison is quickly healed thanks to Pokemon Refresh. We finally reach the Ruins of Life and then Burnett and Lily show up. Seems like Lily got lost, so Burnett brought her. As she leaves, Burnett wonders who the Masked Royal is. I was planning on saying something about this, but I honestly think I don't need to, really. If you know me, even if just a little, you can probably come up with a few things I could say about this. Lily heals our Pokemon, because that's what she usually does when she's with us. Then we finally really head into the ruins. Except we don't. Olivia shows up from inside the ruins, and soon the Kahuna battle finally starts. Should I say something about Olivia's battle intro? Yeah, you know I'm gonna say something. Just like Holo's intro, Olivia's is much better than other normal battle intros. Look, I've seen my fair share of videos on YouTube. I've seen people make videos about smashing Pokemon, and you watching would probably like to as well. So I'm not ashamed in the slightest to say that Olivia looks damn good in this intro. I'll go as far as saying that this is easily one of the best intros in the game. Full stop. Fan service? Sure. Fanboy? I guess so. Olivia starts off by sending a nose pass. First thing I notice is its low level. I would have one-shot this Pokemon if it weren't for its sturdy ability. I also wasn't expecting a Thunder Wave. But it doesn't matter in the end, I still outspeed with Funny Hat and defeat it. And thanks to the busted friendship feature, I also get rid of paralysis before Olivia sends her second Pokemon, Boldore. This Pokemon is definitely sturdier than Nosepass, as Petal Blizzard is unable to deal a fatal blow. I'm pretty sure it would have survived even if it was fatal, but still, it does say something about Boldore's defensive abilities. It hits me with Headbutt, but it's definitely nothing to worry about, and I defeat my opponent on the following turn. Boots levels up and wants to learn Teeter Dance. While I can already confuse Pokemon with Shrooms, Teeter Dance works against all opponents on double battles, so it could be useful later. Also, well, having two Pokemon capable of confusing is a plus, so I replaced Double Slap with it. Olivia sends Lycanroc as her last Pokemon. While it does outspeed and deals an interesting amount of damage with its Z-move on the first turn, I survived the hit and one-shot it with Petal Blizzard. I certainly feel bad for training as much as I did for Mallow's Trial, because now I'm just breezing through what should be harder battles. The battle ends, and after a bit of talking, we leave the ruins area. Pao shows up and challenges Olivia for a battle, while we're told to head to the Hano Grand Resort to meet with the Ether Foundation members. Lily suspiciously says she'll stay behind and watch Hao's battle, even though she hates battles. We call for our Charizard Uber and go back to Heia once more. Then we head to the Hano Grand Resort, but only after beating all remaining trainers on Route 6. As soon as we enter the resort, the Green Ether member waits for us and introduces himself as Faba. If you don't know what a Faba is, it's a kind of bean, and it has the same kind of shape as this guy's glass lenses. You could say, in a way, that this guy is this game's Mr. Bean, basically. Faba tells us about Ether Paradise, a man-made island apparently built for the sole purpose of preserving Pokemon. He then says he'll keep his word and give us a tour of the island. After which Kukui and company show up, and it seems Hao's battle against Olivia was just as fast as mine. Kukui tells us he'll meet us on the third island, specifically at Malier Garden. After this reunion is closed, we immediately set sail to Ether Paradise. Once we get there, we're told that Pokeballs don't work here as a jamming signal is set up. It's not a big issue really, it's not like there are many other grass-type Pokemon I can catch anyway. Also, I only have one spot left, so once I catch another Pokemon, that'll be it. We soon meet a new person, and can I say that I hate Faba's smirk? If there were any doubts before, I think we can all agree that from the way this guy talks, he deserves to get a reality check face first against the wall. Faba leaves us in the new character's care, who introduces herself as Wick. Okay, I'm not sure about the pronunciation of this name, it could be Wike or something, but I'll just go with Wick, it's easier to pronounce. I won't talk about everything that goes on in here, or it could get lengthy, so we skip to the top floor, the conservation area, where Wick says something that actually kinda shocked me. If you're new to the channel, you probably don't know yet, but before I had to stop uploading for a while, I used to upload videos with facts on Pokemon. I had, however, never done a video on Toxapex, which is the Pokemon Wick talks about. She says that Toxapex hunts Corsola, then reads a passage from her Pokédex, which states that this Pokemon leaves a trail of Corsola bits in its wake. I've seen some obscure Pokemon entries and facts, but this one hit. Wick tells us that if we want to meet President Lusumines, Wait, that's the wrong game, damn it! What I meant to say was President Lusamine. She should be around the conservation area. We explore the whole area, then meet up with Lusamine. Well, it doesn't take an oracle to know this woman is Lily's mother. Now the question is, why did Lily stay behind? Guess we'll eventually find out. Hal does mention Lily, and Lusamine responds with a facial expression, and by saying that kids would be better off if they listen to adults. I can kinda somewhat see what kind of relationship Lily has with her mother now, but this is only just scratching the surface. Out of nowhere, an ultra wormhole opens and a mysterious creature appears from it. That creature is none other than Nihilego. Wait, Nihilego? Nihilego? Man, this game and its names... You know what? I missed Gen 1. Gen 1, name yourself. Red. Name your rival. Blue. Easy. You get to Gen 7, you don't even know how to pronounce your name. Anyway, we get into a battle with it, and I can say I wasn't expecting it to behave like a totem Pokemon, as it gets a buff to its defense stat at the start of battle. I start by using Petal Blizzard, but since Nihilego outspeeds, it goes for Venoshock, which actually does much more damage than I expected. I kind of wonder what would have happened if I was hit with a status ailment before being hit by that. Petal Blizzard hits and deals over half of Nihilego's HP worth of damage. On the next turn, Friendship is OP, so we dodge Venoshock and hit another Petal Blizzard and victory is ours. Nihilego leaves, Lusamine's smile is just as creepy as Faba's smirk, and we're taken to the boat that brought us here by Wick. She gives Hal big malasadas and Aiden the TM for Psychic. Feels kind of unfair for Hal, but I won't deny a TM. Even more so when it could potentially come into play later. Who knows? As we board the boat to head for Ula Ula Island, another nice transitional cutscene starts to play. I can't say this enough, I really enjoy these. Hal is such a nice guy. He shares his malasadas with us, which makes me feel even worse, knowing that I got a nice TM and he got something you can pretty much get anywhere. Not only that, once we set full on Ula Ula, Hal asks us for a friendly battle, and of course we agree. I had completely forgotten that we're currently in Alola, so it makes sense that Hal's Pikachu will eventually evolve into its Alolan form. And this again, makes me feel even worse for getting Psychic. However, I do feel better knowing that Alolan Raichu learns Psychic naturally upon evolving from Pikachu. I defeat Raichu by using Breakneck Blitz, and once that's done, Shrooms levels up and wants to learn Strength Sap. This move is way better than Giga Drain. Sure, it doesn't deal damage, but it has so much potential. With it, I'm able to not only reduce the opponent's attack stat, but I can also heal for the same amount of the opponent's same attack stat, which is so much better than accounting for damage rolls and type weaknesses for Giga Drain. So of course, we replace that move for Strength Sap. Hal then sends Flareon. Remember, fire hurts, but thankfully on the first turn, Lurantis hits with Slash and avoids a Fire Fang with the power of Friendship. On the second turn, Lurantis is unable to defeat Flareon, and this time we're hit with Fire Fang. Unfortunately, Flareon knows Quick Attack, which I was actually not expecting. This doesn't matter though, as we send Shrooms into battle and thanks to its ability, we put Flareon to sleep. I then think about helping Boots train, so we send it and take Flareon out. Sadly, Brionne still proves to be too much for it, so we're unable to defeat it and faint. We end the battle by sending Cloud into battle and defeat it with Giga Drain. This was also the best decision I can make, as Cloud levels up and tries to learn Energy Ball. And it's actually quite a reasonably good move, as it has 90 power and has a chance to lower the opponent's special defense. I thought about this for a hot second, but I ultimately decided to replace Giga Drain for it. Sure, it cuts on healing, but by this point, I don't think I really need healing all that much. Even more so when I'm still over leveled for this section of the game, so I really shouldn't have to worry that much. With Hal out of the equation, he reminds us that we have to meet with Kukui before leaving. We reach the Poké Center and I teach Leech Life to Funny Hat. I know I just said I don't need healing all that much, but I do need some damage, and Leech Life got a huge buff in Generation 7, where its power got boosted from a meager 20 to a very reasonable 80. There were two reasons as to why I taught this move to Funny Hat. First, because of the immediate damage output, and second, because I was bound to eventually get the Bug-type Z Crystal, which would definitely have a better use with a stronger move. Looking back on this, I might have done better to keep Fury Cutter for the fact that it gets much stronger after a couple turns. Much stronger than Leech Life, but it's true that the HP recovery is a big plus here. I go to the Pokemart and sell a few things. And we also buy the TMs for Swords Dance, Bulldoze and Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace for Grovyle, because I knew that if it could learn Acrobatics, there was a very high chance it could learn that one too. Bulldoze because I was unsure if any of my current Pokemon could learn it, but also in the hopes that a future Pokemon would be able to learn it and give me a bit more coverage. And then, obviously, Swords Dance because it's just a very good move to have around. I teach Swords Dance to both Funny Hat and Grovyle and finally move on from here. We meet Lily, but she doesn't come with us and tells us to go to Mallia Garden instead. Once we get there, we meet Hao, and while he talks about tea, our objective is to meet Kukui. There's one thing I'd like to mention before we move on. We interact with a sign with a map on it. It says that there's some motif to this place, but I'll be honest, it definitely didn't hit me the first time I walked into this place. We'll come back to this place later, and it will all make sense by then though. While defeating the trainers in the area, Boots levels up to level 27, and because I had 2 rare candies saved up, I used them to level it up to 29, where it learns Stomp and evolves. Only one Pokemon to evolve now, but I still don't know where I'm going to get a Sunstone. All I know is that I've entered all shops to this point and I have yet to run into one, and I haven't found any on my journey through the islands. I surely hope I'll be able to evolve it eventually. However, even if I don't, Cloud will always have a very big use with Charm. After evolving, Boots tries to learn the move Drop Kick. And while it doesn't have a very high power, it guarantees an attack stat debuff, so of course I'm going to learn this. I replaced Magical Leaf for this. The reason being that Razor Leaf has a high critical rate, and Boots is leaning more on the attack side more than the special attack, so keeping Magical Leaf over Razor Leaf would probably be dumb. I moved Boots over to the first spot in the party to try and level it up a little, and to give it its time to shine as well, and while I was clearing the area of all trainers, I run into an encounter with a Raichu and Boots' ability activates. Upon further inspection, this ability allows Boots to deny a Pokemon from using a priority move. This one ability could very well be super useful later. I'm really glad to have it. We find another Zygarde cell, and we get a call from Sina telling us that we've found 10% of them. She then asks us to meet her on Route 16, and I don't really want to, I'll be honest. We finally meet with Kukui, and after a bit of idle chat and catching up on what just happened to our young friends, we're told to meet him on Route 10 so we can board the bus up to Mount Hokulani. But before we can do that, as we leave Mallia Garden, it seems Lily was waiting for us. She asks if we would accompany her to the ruins on Ula Ula Island, to which we obviously agree. Lily does say that she needs to find a book first, and that book is apparently in Mallia Library. As we start heading there, we meet a new old face. I say that because this person is none other than Professor Oak's cousin. This more laid-back version of Oak is also a professor, so I guess I'll have to address him by his first name from now on. Samson talks to us about who he is, and about the Pokédex. Then he tells us that if we want to meet him again, he'll be at the library. We obviously go everywhere else before heading for our main objective. Once we're done with everything, we finally head to the library, and as we approach it, Lily stands right in front of the entrance. Apu shows up, the 3 of them talk a bit, then both Aiden and Lily enter the library. Not much happens here. We find Samson on the main floor, and he talks about regional variants and how he'd like to see a Persian, but we ain't got time for that. We head upstairs and Lily is looking for a book on myths and legends about Pokemon. A small girl approaches and tells Lily that the book she's looking for is on a table. After reading a passage from the book, I notice something. This new character never really introduces herself. However, her name automatically appears anyway. So yeah, now we know she's called Acerola, I guess. Lily informs us that she's going to stay here and learn more from Acerola, but we have to go to Route 10, so we can head up Mount Okulani and take on the next trial. We leave the library, but sadly, this is going to be it for this part. I would include the next trial onto this video, but I don't want to overextend this, so I'll cut it here, and next time we'll go on to the next trial very early into the video. Anyway, one small thing I should mention. You all probably already know that these longer videos take a longer time to make, so if you could like the video, maybe even subscribe, it would mean a lot to me, and it would help the channel a lot. So by spending a couple seconds of your time, you can potentially help me bring more and better content your way. With this, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. My name's Grovyle. Thanks for watching.